This is Shelf Space. Building a successful natural personal care brand in Canada is no small feat, but my guest, Alain, co-founder of Green Beaver, has done exactly that. In this conversation, Alain opens up about the strategies that set Green Beaver apart, the real challenges of growing in a competitive market, and what's next as they set their sights on international expansion. Sure, this episode is food-free, but it's still packed with lots of great advice for retail-focused founders and CPG builders. And a big thanks to my Shelf Space partners, Picnic Creative, Fasken, Pacific Coast Distribution, Rima, Benchmark 60, and TD. Okay, here's my conversation with Alain. Alain, this is so cool that we get to talk because I have been a very, very committed consumer of your products for, I'm going to confess, maybe about 2 years now. And it all came down to my wife doing a lot of research. And she's like, Green Beaver's the one. And we've been going strong ever since. So I'm glad we're able to do this chat. Now, I have a question for you. It's simple as this. If you were to imagine one innovation in the grocery store, what would it be?
Innovation in a grocery store?
Anything you want. People have told me they want better parking, like valet parking. People have told me they want lighting along the bottom of the aisles. Anything about product, food, or experience. What's one innovation in the grocery store that you'd love to see?
I hate to see all those lettuce in those big plastic tubs. So somebody can come up with something that, or convince people, you know what? Like the old days, you just pack all the lettuce in a pile. You just pick it and bring it home like that. You just take all the outer leaves off anyhow. So who cares?
Yeah, that's a good one. I saw lettuce merchandised with raw meat the other day. It was packaged meat, but it was like bloody beef meat with packaged lettuce right above it. And they had this explanation to me because I asked them about it. And they're like, oh, it's part of meal planning. I'm like, who is making a 4-pound roast with romaine lettuce as a part of their meal? Like, it's anyway.
Yeah. And it's, if they can highlight, it started obviously more of the local products and produce. I mean, I don't know why we're bringing stuff from overseas when we can grow it here. And we do grow it here.
Yeah, there's a lot growing in Canada, and it'd be nice to see more of it procured here. So listeners might not be fully dialed into who you are and what you do. So why don't you give the short version?
Okay, I'm Alain Ménard, co-founder of the Green Beaver company. So I co-founded the company with my wife, and we make all natural personal care products, such as toothpaste, sunscreen, aluminum-free deodorants, lotions, and so forth.
And you guys have been in business for what, just a couple of weeks?
Yeah. 24 years.
Oh.
And it wasn't even supposed to be a company. It all started with me washing the floor. Oh.
That's hilarious. And in the grocery store, I talk a lot about food and beverage, but the reality is that there are numerous aisles, if not sections, in every grocery store dedicated to personal care and a bunch of other categories. What's it been like for you to grow the brand across the country when there's so much emphasis on sort of the food stuff, but you guys are playing in a different space?
Well, when we started out 24 years ago, there was a trend starting. That trend was people wanted personal care products without the chemicals. And I would say the big one at that time, there was a lot of talk about parabens and also the aluminum antiperspirants. So there were starting to have studies coming out saying, well, it could be linked with this and that, whatever. And so there was a trend. It was just starting. And that was when you started seeing a lot more health food stores as well. Because people normally, when they think about getting healthy or they want to start going natural, organic, it always starts with the food. And then eventually it gets to their personal care products, and then eventually gets to their household cleaners and so forth.
And I feel like that self-care section, whether it's a big grocery chain or a smaller boutique one, that section is growing. The shelves are getting taller. They're commanding more floor space. I feel like there's a lot more products being imported from US or Europe. What's it been like to navigate that section of the grocery store for all the products that you're bringing to the table?
Yeah, there is a lot of competition, and especially in a segment like the natural personal care, which is a growing segment that attracted a lot of new players, a lot of American brands, some high-end European brands, some no longer around, you know. I think what we did good is that, first of all, when my wife and I thought about a name for the company, we said, okay, knowing that it was mostly brands that were coming from elsewhere, we said we want the name to say Canadian and natural, thus Green Beaver. I really wanted to call it Green Moose, moose, big antlers, strong,
That's very Canadian, even more Canadian than a beaver.
Yeah, she said, well, it has a big nose and it's ugly. Beavers are cute. Okay. So that helped us because stores did care. And of course, in the last year and a half, it's the importance of it has increased like quadruple.
So you've got a made in Canada position. You've got a green, environmental, sustainable position. You've got a healthy, better for you position. But there's a lot of competitors that also make some of these claims. Maybe they don't all make the Canadian claim, but from the sake of the consumer's use, there's a lot of competition. What's it been like going up against some of these brands that are bigger or come from other countries? Or
when we came out, we were competing against big natural brands there that were well established and like in the States and Europe and things like that. So what we would do, for example, when we came out with toothpaste, we looked at the whole category and say, okay, it's always the same, kind of white box with mint and spearmint. So we said, you know what, we're going to go with colored box and we're going to bring out things like, whoa, zesty orange, green apple, cinnamon, cilantro mint. So then, when I would go to retailers and you talk to the buyer and say, yeah, because I thought they'll say, well, I already have a natural toothpaste. I have too many. Yeah, but you don't have a zesty orange. You don't have a green apple. So, of course, you need your mint. It's your base, right? And then we would add that and say, yeah, it's different, At least it's something I would be offering something different to my client. And then also innovation. Product has to work. That's one thing where our repeat buys are extremely high. My wife's a biochemist. I'm a microbiologist. Really, we're not marketing people. We're scientists. This was a scientist-led company. So a lot of what we did was all about the quality, the innovation. We were first ones to bring out, for example, aluminum-free antiperspirants. There's aluminum-free deodorants, but not antiperspirant. See, deodorants won't stop you from smelling, won't stop you from sweating. Antiperspirant does both. So we have the only one right now on the market. We came out also sunscreen, mineral sunscreen. Oh my God. I remember even our first versions, they were all like sticky and tacky, very whitening and things like that. But it took us like a good 6 years where we got to it. We came up with a version that feels like as if you're just using a conventional sunscreen. Ultimately, you can sell a product, but if it doesn't please the customer, it's not going to buy it back. And I think that's been key to our success. It's just good product.
I agree. It's the performance of the antiperspirant that I fell in love with. And it was the aluminum free and sort of the ingredient panel that you have that made my wife be like, yep, this is the brand for us. Now, you've got a lot of SKUs. What's it like to innovate and then rationalize those SKUs at the same time?
Just went through a SKU rationalization. I don't like it. It's like, for example, our cilantro mint toothpaste. I love cilantro. I put it into everything. That's the only reason we brought it out, because I wanted a cilantro toothpaste. But you know what? It wasn't really selling as much because you got to think about it like they explained to us with the programs that we participated in. I mean, it doesn't matter your turnover, that product still takes a square in your warehouse, but you're paying per square foot. So it needs a certain velocity, right? And also your hero products keep growing. And all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, where are we going to put stuff? So we were convinced and we did it. So all the small SKUs weren't turning enough. Okay, delist that, make room for the hero products.
That's hard. It must feel like you're lopping off an arm or selling a firstborn child.
Yeah, because we've had that product like 12 years or so,
Well, cilantro is polarizing. I know people that actually hate it. They go out of their way to say, wait, is there cilantro in that?
Oh, yeah. They got that gene there that makes for them, cilantro tastes like soap.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and you are a soap company, so maybe
Yeah.
that gets complicated. Now, I remember you and I have been talking for a while, and this is not our first conversation. And I know that as you've been trying to grow, because you're a Quebec-based business, as you've been growing out west, you've had some learnings. You've done some things that have, I think, really grabbed the attention of consumers. But I know some of those things have been harder. What's it been like for you to grow over the last 2-3 years out here in Western Canada?
We're actually based in Ontario, but it's on the Quebec border.
Yes. I knew that.
Hawkesbury, Ontario, but it's like town of 10,000 people, but there's no English schools. It's like little Quebec.
Little Quebec.
So out west, I would say 24 years ago when we started, the market per capita for natural product was much bigger in BC. So we actually grew. Once we got out west, we soon outpaced the sales of Ontario, which is much bigger in population. But then the East caught up on the natural trend. So actually, we learned a lot from the consumers out west. They were basically like telling us what they wanted, what they didn't want in products. So we were learning from that, putting in our products, and then help us sell to the Ontario and Quebec and the whole east of Canada.
So it's almost like a reverse script.
Yeah, because especially BC was way ahead of everybody.
But there's been a new push out here in the West. I see you guys getting more listings and more facings.
That basically is the whole tariff thing, because most of our competitors are American brands. So that really gave it a boost. So the stores, they're already strong supporters, but all of a sudden they're giving us like more end caps, display opportunities. They were missing a few products. They would list more, We also were getting more shelf space, better placement. So yeah, that gave it a big push.
You guys are a poster brand for Elbows Up.
Oh yeah, well, especially with a name like ours. Basically, everybody aligned with our positioning. Boom.
You spend a fair bit of time contributing to the social feed, to the online consumer, the digital shopper, and to those that are following the brand online. I've seen you're literally doing almost sketch comedy half the time on social media. What's it been like putting yourself out there so much as the founder, as the face of the brand?
Well, first of all, I love doing it. So, and you know what? I'm just being who I am. That's what we figured. You know what? We're the small Canadian brand that could. And we said, okay, our competitors are much bigger companies. Most of them, again, based in the US. And it's like, okay, you know what? We can't play their game. We don't have the same budget as they have. So we got to be the David. They're the Goliath, so we're the David. So we got to figure out how to do things differently. And I said, well, you know what? Let's just be authentic, transparent, just like our products. We don't have an ad agency. No, we do it everything with just a little small phone there, iPhone. And we kind of sit down. The way we do it, we sit down. Okay, what is it we want? Well, it's time to start talking about sunscreen. All right, we'll toss around a few ideas, whatever. It's not scripted. There's an idea of what the message should be, and we just go out and do it. And then we'll probably take around 3-4 takes, and it kind of evolves every time. Oh, no, wait a minute. I have a better idea. We should say it this way. All right, and come back, edit it, and post it. I think people like the authenticity.
I think they do too. And your social following is growing. But what interests me the most is how hard you guys have worked on direct to consumer and the sales and traction that you've gained by selling direct to consumers from your website. And for digital shopping carts. How have you been kind of growing, navigating this landscape of D2C that's been a little weird over the years?
Yeah, it's a whole, selling to retailers versus selling online is very different, totally different mindset. But we did hire new people with some expertise. Marketing now is very complicated. There's all these different specialties that you need. Yeah, we just invested more into it. It's getting some more expertise. And what's great about online too is that you can do trial and error. You can try something. Okay, it didn't work. Okay, let's do it another way. It's so quick. You can just change something very quick. Like, for example, recently, we noticed that hydroxyapatite basically makes up 97% of your enamel. And we have a hydroxyapatite toothpaste. And we noticed that the SEO was really trending. And we noticed that our online sales the hydroxyapatite toothpaste was really trending. But then, for example, one of the employees said, yeah, I know, but we don't say on our website, it says Naturapeutic toothpaste. That was kind of the category name. So right away, they changed it to hydroxyapatite toothpaste. And right away, boom. And if it didn't work, let's say it would have slowed down, well, we would have just changed it back. Some things are easier,
Well, and now we're being told to put our faith in artificial intelligence to solve all of our marketing problems. I'm not quite sure it'll get us there, but it's tricky.
We'll see where that goes.
Yeah, exactly. What kind of aspirations do you have outside of Canada? Where do you want to export to when you grow up?
Yeah, right now we are exporting to the States. We have a distributor over there. We're not pushing it too much because we're pretty busy right here right now. And I have to build a new production line. So that means new equipment, things like that. So I got to stay focused. We already are selling in the Philippines. It's this Canadian, Luciano, in Toronto. He's in food. He exports Canadian foods to different countries. And somehow he has a connection in Philippines, of all places I do. It's amazing. And we're actually selling like containers, always leaving every couple months to the Philippines. I guess they love Green Beaver products. Where I would like, China, we're selling just on online platform. It's called Tmall. Mexico. We have a free trade agreement between us. There's an agreement between Canada and Mexico. So, for example, sunscreen, if they're approved by Health Canada, they're automatically approved by Health Mexico.
Yeah, and there's so many Canadians in Mexico. Yes, and there's plenty of goodwill.
Antiperspirant, good fit.
What about outside the grocery store? Like, are there other places and spaces that you really want to see the brand grow?
Well, we have our foot in the, health food stores have 100% of our product. Groceries have all of our key products. And then pharmacy have maybe 1/4 of our key products. So there's a lot of growth still to go get in pharmacies. There's that. Also, there is what we call awareness channels. For example, I don't know, they called us out of the blue. We're at the duty-free shop at the Montreal airport. So we have this nice sunscreen display there right beside Clarins and all the other big names, I'd like to get into, we started selling into sports stores like MEC, outdoor stores. And there's more other ones that we'd like to get into as well. It's not really for the sales, but it's more for the awareness. People see you there, they see you here.
Sort of like a miniature activation.
Yeah. And then, they'll try a product, buy a lip balm, let's say.
Maybe you guys could have a dispensing machine in the local hockey rink because they're of deodorant, please.
Hey, I like that. That's a good idea.
That would make a lot of parents, I think, very happy to not smell all those hockey players quite so pungently.
Yeah. Have it in schools where, when they hit 10, 11 years old, I had a couple of uncles and aunts that were teachers, and they said, oh my God, when they start smelling, it's really bad.
I think maybe you need a bicycle with a box in the front, or maybe a deodorant truck. You could show up. Well, what's next for you guys? What's coming up in the near future that you guys are really excited about?
Well, I'm really excited just upgrading our manufacturing site because right now we're getting close to full capacity. So we got to work on that. And during the whole last 2 years, we were focusing a lot on, okay, let's do a SKU rationalization. Let's focus on the hero products. So I wasn't launching new products as sales had really increased due to the Buy Canadian thing, right? So right now it's time to launch new products. I like that.
Maybe a saffron and garlic infused toothpaste.
Ooh, I love garlic, but I'm not sure about the toothpaste part.
I'm clearly not getting a job in product development with you. No,
I like getting back in the lab and innovating. We've been working on some pretty interesting stuff right now.
Well, and I would imagine, especially with the D2C, you have such a great opportunity to try things out and do a small run and see what the reaction is. You don't have to wait for retailers to give you permission to check in on the market.
Yeah. We call it the minimum viable product, MVP. So you just, doesn't have to be the perfect label, but 90% there, you're there. Test it and see. Then if you need to tweak the message a bit, where you can tweak it. You didn't do 40,000 bottles. to bring to retail.
Yeah,
Use your online
so
as a beta too, as a way to test products.
And I guess my last question is on the product lines. Have you guys done any collaborations with other brands where you feel like it was a good fit? It was sort of mutually beneficial?
Well, we've done like stuff, advertising stuff, like social media stuff. But I have approached other brands to do a co-brand product. So there's something in the works right now. Another Canadian brand.
Okay. Sounds mysterious.
Oh, yeah.
Fill me in when it's time. Good deal. Well, Alain, my last actual question for you is your best grocery shopping experience ever. Where was it?
It would have been in the old market in Marrakesh, Morocco. That market is unbelievable. What an experience. Here in Canada, but you really should go. They have all the spices, everything that's very colorful, and just the way that they present things. It's just amazing.
Yeah. I've had friends travel to Morocco and they're just beside themselves with the experience, the culinary experience.
Oh, it's amazing. Amazing.
It's a pretty common trend in these conversations that I get to have is that a lot of people love that open air market shopping, that mashup of local producers, local growers, importers that are being really creative with their selections, and even local manufacturers that just bring something really unique to the table.
I love the experience of St. Lawrence Market or Atwater Market in Montreal. I just love that. I don't know, just something special about it.
Alain, I'm so glad we got a chance to talk. Thank you for your time and excited to see all the places and spaces that Green Beaver is going to go. And you make a wonderful product that everyone should have in their home. So excited for you guys.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. And can't wait to see you here in Hawkesbury. You need to come and visit us.
I will. I'll be out at CHFA in September. So yeah,
I think you enjoyed it.
That'd be great. Thanks for listening to this episode of Shelf Space. If you like what you hear, I would be eternally grateful for a 5-star rating and a quick share on social. Your support means the world to me and our partners, TD, Fasken, Rima, Pacific Coast Distribution, Picnic Creative, and Benchmark 60. For bonus content and resources from our sponsors, go to shelfspacepodcast.com. I'm Corwin Hebert. I'm glad we're on this rocket ship together. I'll see you in the future.